Before I start, I just want to say that stalking is creepy. I know this because my last story didn't make it here. This is a rewrite. Patience. I take a deep breath. Having almost passed out from the sight of her, I was bending with my hands on my knees to relax, focusing on getting the blood back to my brain. "It'll be the theater to your left," says the ticket ripper, confused at the sight of my current stance. "Thank you," I replied, gasping for air. I had seen her before, just 1 week earlier. With a quick swallow, I don't need them. With a quick swallow of my love-struck feelings, I made haste in the opposite direction from her. I needed time to plan my approach. I don't know what it was about her, but for some reason I felt weak at the knees. I mean, literally. I actually tripped. They really hurt. I think it was her eyes, those aqua blue gems reflecting the sun oh so brightly. Her golden strands of hair, not unlike the french fries I get at my local McDonald's. For some reason, I knew she was the one. It felt as though caterpillars were going through metamorphosis, turning into butterflies right there in my stomach. She had to be. After all, she had been staring at me ever since I walked in the door. I really do mean that. Everywhere I went, her eyes seemed to follow. I tested this by making a very odd path to the nearest water fountain, zigging and zagging, notably more zig than zag. Sure enough, her eyes went zig and zag too. Coincidence? I think not. Looking up from the water fountain, we locked eyes. It was one of those moments, one where time slowed, the guy behind the concession stand watching as the butter slow motion poured into the waiting customer's popcorn. It was in that moment, in that single second of my puny existence, that I realized I had fallen in love. She was the girl I wanted to marry. She was the one I wanted to watch movies with, to stand with, to hug. I knew I needed to talk to her. "Your popcorn is ready, sir," the man behind the counter says. "Oh, thank you," I reply, taking my popcorn. Stuffing my face in a nervous panic, I walk over to where she stood, looking awkwardly at all the posters all around the room, avoiding eye contact at all costs as I did so. Once near, I stood next to her, glancing over so often to catch a glimpse of her profound beauty. Covering her was a glossy shimmer like that of a freshly polished car. She was a petite girl, paper thin, with a seemingly impeccable balance. "Why?" I said, stuffing my face with popcorn. She must not have heard me because she remained quietly still. "Do you come here often?" Again, her response was nothing more than silence. "Okay, I'm just gonna say it." I begin to pace back and forth. I think you're the most amazing girl in the world. No, wait, the galaxy. No, wait, the universe. I don't know what it is about you, but you just make me feel like a better man. Someone who's there to provide, to support, to love you. I couldn't imagine continuing the day not telling you the feelings that have manifested a mere 5 minutes ago. I think it's fate. I turned around, she's gone. I looked down the hallway to see a tall man in black slacks and tucked-in white button-up shirt hoisting her away against her will over his right shoulder. I paused. I didn't know what to do. Here I was watching my lady love being kidnapped. Oddly, she was surprisingly calm throughout the whole thing. No flailing of her arms or legs, she remained stiff as a board. As they disappeared around the corner, my legs took action, and without thinking, I was on the move. What a perfect opportunity to be a hero. Rounding the same corner, I saw the last few strands of her golden hair just slip into the room down the hall. Approaching, the door had a golden employees only sign halting me where I stood. My mind began to race. I'm not a fighter. I couldn't take that guy. Maybe I could bite him, or somehow use his own teeth against him, somehow. Suddenly, the door handle begins to turn. I panic. In a quick jump, I positioned myself behind the door out of the line of sight. The tall, formally dressed man walks off, oblivious to my presence. Now's my chance, I think to myself, grabbing the door just before it latches shut. Sure enough, a few feet in, there she was, dented and damaged. "My name's Sean. I'm here to rescue you." I thought a line from a familiar movie would help lighten the kidnapping. It didn't. She remained silent still. "Come on, we gotta go before the kidnapper gets back." Just as the last few words of my sentence left my mouth, the door swung open. Exposed and backed into a corner like an animal, I said the only thing a man would say in such a threatening situation. "She's mine!" I wrapped my arms around her and held her tightly. Dude, I don't think you're supposed to be back here. And that's theater property. I think you're gonna have to leave before I have to get my manager." The man said in an uncontrollable rage. The theater's property? You mean to tell me she's been a slave to you? The man begins to laugh. Is this really happening? The next thing I know, he's radioed for security and I'm extracted against my will by my arms and legs. I tried going to the police, but they laughed at me. I never saw her again after that day, not until the DVD release of the movie I was going to see before the tragedy that occurred. Patience. I take a deep breath. Having almost passed out from the sight of her in disbelief, I was bending with my hands on my knees to relax, focusing on getting the blood back to my brain. Sure enough, it was my lady love, and we were reunited at last. Thank you very much.